Hope you enjoy everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Silver Now. Let's get my latest review on Naruto Shippuden, episode 494, 498, Naruto and Hinata's wedding, This is a big deal, what's happening right now in Konoha, things getting crazy. Hey, parents are preparing a wedding gift. I mean, what the hell the schedule is going to be. Hey, sorry if I didn't make this any sooner. I just been a little, dumbfounded by what I should do next. Anyway, let's get started. I really enjoyed this a lot because this was a very good story. One of the things I gotta say, they really focused a lot on the side, not Naruto and Hinata, but on her other characters. Giving them like good stories and developments. Like it's kind of like how when we went through the whole Shikamaru novel and whole Sasuke novel, all that stuff. It's kind of the same thing, but a little different. Like when we went through, this is just giving everybody their own story, getting ready for like the final, thing, for like the end of Naruto, which is gonna be in a couple of weeks, in like next month, basically, like this spring, Anyway, let's get started. It starts off with the video message, Konohamaru's trying to record a video message, and it's like everybody's trying to say their things, like Sakura, Sai, Sai's not very good, I think it's like he has trouble, he still has trouble. Lee, Tenten, Choji, Shikamaru, Ino, even Kiba and Nakamaru. It's pretty funny when you think about it. When you see it's very, very comedic when you see this. It had a lot of comedy, but also had a lot of characters and something. We also get to see they're giving everybody their own story. They're giving everybody their own story of like what's gonna happen next. I really enjoyed that. The first episode focused a lot on Iruka. The Iruka part was about him being a teacher, continuing his life, and think about Naruto and Hinata's big wedding day. That's something you gotta consider. That's something you gotta think about. But he's also going through this tough life. He has using students. These students are Tetsuo and Senso and Mabui. Mabui, how they tagged the third Hokage's face, and not the great stone face on the wall. They just tagged a small statue memorial of him in front of the school. And he reminds them of how Naruto and he did their prank. The other teacher, the lady, she asked him to like get involved to teach these students. Like Naruto did all kinds of pranks. He was a real big brat, It was pretty funny. I remember when you think about it, it's pretty hilarious, And he reminds her of that. He even tells them how he taught Naruto and stuff, but they don't believe him, saying that Naruto's such a super and you're just a regular teacher, like you don't know some. No, I mean it's not his fault that Naruto's famous, Now he helped raise Naruto for a long time, watched out for him as a little kid, so he knows. Also, how these students find him out. He gets to deal with all this. We also get to see that there's some problems, like not on the surface but below. Like for example, Kakashi's trying to find to fit everyone's schedule to set for a wedding date. Like try to get each team that's available so they can properly prepare the wedding. There's also like Iruka. Iruka's getting through the exam. Like there's an exam to see who's going to be like vice principal. So they think that he's good for the job. However, he's going to be related to some difficulty. We get to see Ibuki Sensei. He freaks out about how he's a teacher too, and he's not, being acknowledged for his fame. It's obvious that Ibiki is not what you call Ebisu or whatever. Ebisu, I think he's not what you call a very important character, so he's like dumbfounded. But I like how in the dub he's also played by Kirsten Friedman. He also plays the voice of Hichachi, which is very good, which is my favorite, which is one of the best characters ever. Anyway, he freaks out, trying to undermine Naruto a little bit, freaking out how he's gonna get this big job. We even get to see Kakashi being as sleuth as ever, being as smooth as he is, being Hokage, but he's trying to make sure that no one calls him Lord Hokage, because he's still Kakashi, but he doesn't want people to call him Lord Kakashi or Lord Hokage or whatever, because he's such a humble person, But he tells them that the exam is gonna be tough, he's going to be a big thing, going to be a big thing for. And so they got a lot to do, However, Iruka, while he's dealing with it, he's trying to remind his students about how he taught Naruto, how they remind him. However, this just takes off one student. That's Tetsuro. Tetsuro tries to like tries to prove that he's not that Naruto. Oh, he's trying to prove that he's him. Like don't compare us to something like this. Like and Iruka just reminds him of that. Over and over again. Tries to because they're doing pranks like how Naruto was a kid. And he reminds him good times. And he's trying to do something about this. However, this kid does the ultimate thing. How he steals this scroll of stealing. How he steals the sacred scroll, that Naruto did about the whole multi-shadow clones thing, he does the same thing. Hey, so however, Iruka he eventually caught him. It's not like how he caught him in the forest. He's not him on top of the village, like. But then Iruka apologizes, saying that the reason, like he kept reminding him of how Naruto was, But his job is supposed to be a teacher. He's supposed to be like supposed to, teach students and motivate them, but instead he's just reminding him of a student that he once taught, tried to compare notes to him, which is something you shouldn't do. Like you're supposed to motivate them, not drag them down, basically. So he apologizes for that, so he takes responsibility. But he also doesn't, takes the principal exam because he knows that being vice principal is a big responsibility. And that means he doesn't get to teach students as much as he did. So he wants to remain a teacher, which is good for Iruka, We haven't seen a lot of him for a while, so it's good that he got some character development. And we also get to see that Kakashi makes this big move. Like everyone has to fight a celebratory gift for Naruto and Hinata's wedding, like literally measuring their friendship. That's a big deal. And this goes all the way back to Tsunade. She did that. If there was a marriage between shinobi, that they should have a congratulatory gift. And he says this himself. If this pans out, then I'm going to be the worst Hokage, which is big deal. The worst Hokage. Hey, when you think about it, for me, I don't think Kakashi's gonna think that Kakashi's betting it all on this, this rule, but he's not what you call the worst Hokage, That's still, up for debate. He's a good person. I think he can handle the job. I just wish he had his Sharingan, The next episode is gonna be, about Lee. Lee's trying to try to find a present for him. Lee. It kind of reminds you of that one show, like Lee and his, like Naruto SD and Rock Lee and his friends or whatever. It's pretty hilarious. I never watched those series, but I hear they're pretty funny. It's kind of reminding you of all the funny stuff that happened in between. It's like he's trying to find a gift, but he doesn't know what gift to gift them. He even gets an image from Neji's ghost about strength or whatever. Which is pretty hilarious. You get to try to get advice from everyone. Ten, Guy Sensei, even Iruka Sensei, like trying to find what is the perfect wedding gift, Which is pretty crazy when you think about it. It's hilarious, and the way he pushes himself to the limit, trying to come up with ideas, like, what should I get them? Like a kunai, nunchucks, or what you call tonfas or whatever. It's pretty crazy when you think about it, I really liked how hilarious this was. And both of these didn't feature with Naruto and Hinata at all, This was their own story, which is pretty hilarious, Because this is focusing on the wedding day, The last one was like 31 or 35. And this one is like 38, It's pretty crazy. So they got like a month to prepare for the wedding, With all the schedule, all the things that they're working out in the end, I really gotta admit, this is pretty big deal. I really like the comedy, the hilarity around this. Like, for example, the whole Orochimaru thing, like when he went to give his congratulatory message, and it's like, we had to see Yamato on the corner trying to follow him to make sure he doesn't do nothing sneaky, and you get to see that all the time, like, Yamato's right behind him, like, he's caught on camera, he follows him everywhere. Yeah, like, everywhere he goes, Yamato's not far behind, even when he's on a boat or something. It's pretty hilarious. And we get to see in the background there's these two birds. It kind of reminds me of the old Naruto, how it was. How comedic it was. And we get to see those birds that say ahu, which is fool in Spanish, or idiot. Fool in Japanese, which is pretty funny. Like, that's like classic Naruto, All the comedic, all the foils and all that stuff, That's pretty hilarious. Remember, like, they're trying to prepare for the wedding, but this is like a mini series, It's like it's gonna be described over multiple episodes. How when he went to see Guy Sensei, he's still in a wheelchair. How he tries to do exercise on his fingers and stuff like that, overcoming like the pain he went through. Because we haven't seen Guy Sensei in a while. You know, remember he got crippled after what happened when he went through at least all the 8 inner gates during the last war. Naruto saved him. You know, he's stuck in a wheelchair for life. You know, but despite all that, he's still willing to overcome his weakness and still willing to work hard and helping his students. You know, which is pretty big. How they think of getting him a dumbbell, getting him and Hinata dumbbells so they can work out is pretty funny. Anyway, this was a very good episode. You know, these 2 parts, these were a bit comedic, you know, in ways, and focused on other characters rather than the main characters. But I really liked it. You know, it's pretty good. You know, when you think about it, overall, all the excitement it's going to be a goddamn circus. It looks like the preview for the next episode. It's going to be about how Shikamaru and Tamari are going to try to how to work together so they can see how they're gonna, you know, get Naruto Hinata a wedding gift, you know. And it's probably gonna be a little hint to their relationship future line. And I want to see Gara too, you know. We saw Gara back in the end of the whole Shikamaru thing, but that was just flashback or whatever. But we need to see more Gara, you know. You know, this being, you know, Hinata and Naruto's wedding, he's probably not gonna miss that, you know, because Naruto's getting married, you know, and remember Naruto treated him with respect and helped save his life because they were so alike. They were both Jinchuriki, they both grew up under the same pain, they both had a father who was a Kage, and they were blessed with powers beyond their imagining, and they grew up to be strong shinobi in their own rights, you know. I can't wait to see how that handles, you know. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the comment, subscribe. Thank you. This was a 2-part episode. Let's see what happens next between Tamari and Shikamaru. I can't wait how they deal with this. Anyway, I'm out. I'll see you later next time. Bye. I wonder how their date went. It's probably was a drag.